What up, boys? We back.
What's going
Another
on?
episode. Matt, you look great as always.
Thank you,
I am
brother.
Nick. That is Matt. We are here to go over the NFC games for this divisional round of the playoffs. Obviously, I mean, it's really just NFC East and 49ers.
Yes,
That's it.
sir.
Yeah.
NFC Beast, baby.
Representing hard right now. Let's get right into Matt. How was your? Let's talk about this real quick. How was your last weekend?
It was good. The sides that I was on all panned out. Props didn't really go so well, but as far as hockey, still crushing it. I think I have a better feel for sides and totals, and overall watched some great football. I feel like I've been on such a hot streak. Money's just kind of coming out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Kind of like so it just keeps happening. So I mean, let me know if you see something like that happen again. But
I will.
it just kind of happens out of nowhere. But yeah, fun weekend of football. Can't complain. How about you?
I think it was the best weekend of football all year, period. As far as watching experience, I mean, I know it's playoff football and there's more on the line, but the comebacks, competitive games, I mean, it was really just exciting football. Even, the Bills, Dolphins, Jags obviously going down by a bunch and coming back. There's even the Giant spreads, all competitive. Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. But let's get into these games.
I do have to say this. The Jaguars-Chargers game, to me, didn't feel like a crazy comeback. I couldn't tell what it was. Was it like the announcer's not in? Like, I feel like there was no, like, if I was just listening to it, like, I just feel like I wouldn't have known what was going on. And I kind of like ruined the moment for me.
The announcers were the worst. Absolutely no emotion, no like expression, nothing. It was just dead. Like they had Chargers money line. That's what they had.
I think they might have. I don't know. I was like, I really just watched a crazy comeback, but didn't really feel like one at the same time. Or also, I don't even know. It was a weird game. Might be the weirdest game I've ever seen, honestly.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's get into it because people are done with us talking already. Giants versus the Eagles. We got a good one here, at least on paper. Third time, obviously, with them being divisional. The line is currently 7.5. So a little bit over a touchdown, and that's on all books. And then we have a over-under of 48.5. So a little bit higher as far as the total. Matt, what's your opinion on this game? Obviously, I know you're a Giants fan, so maybe a little biased, but what's your thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, I'm a Giants fan, but I don't fully buy in because once I buy in, I get disappointed. It's worked out well so far this year. It's definitely worked out well. Divisional game, just all first glance, like 7.5 is a lot of points. I know the Eagles are a better team, more complete team, but you could argue that the Giants are, I don't say in better form, but they're getting hot at the right time. Eagles dealing with some injuries, mostly obviously to Jalen Hurts. Should be healthy to play, but you really never know. So it should be a good one. I hope it's competitive. I probably won't bet this game at all just because I don't want to get double stressed out overall, but I think there's some good spots to attack in this game. How about you?
I mean, I love this game. I think that it's going to be a competitive, close game overall. That might give you an idea what I think as far as a bet and a side. But I think Giants are playing amazing football right now. Adoree Jackson came back from injury. That helped their defense out tremendously. Daniel Jones is absolutely killing it. I don't know how much that is. At least last week on the Vikings defense making absolutely zero adjustments throughout the game, just getting burned everywhere. And then when they're doing good coverage downfield, usually man coverage, he's just taking off with all the defenders' backs to him and eating up those yards on the ground as well. Being patient as far as they had some design runs for him as well. Being very patient and sitting behind his blockers and letting it develop and then taking off. I really like how the Giants are playing as far as football. And I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think there are a couple things that we need to think about is the rest versus rust discussion. Obviously, the Eagles sat out the Eagles say it again.
The Giants sat out their starters, but the Eagles didn't have Jalen Hurts. So.
And then they've obviously had a bye week since then. So you do have a week off. That isn't much time, but it is something to at least consider. I really just think this is going to be a competitive game. I think the Eagles can pull it out, and they will pull it out. but I see this being a one-score game throughout, and I think the 7.5 at -106 currently on FanDuel, good value.
Yeah, I think I'm looking over too, just like a casual, just looking. The most profitable team to their over team total this season has been the Giants. And obviously in good spots as they're underdogs, you get some low numbers. Like I see 19 and a half. And the Giants they only scored 16 against the Eagles last week of the season, but Daniel Jones didn't start. So not even going to count that. But you see 31 last week versus the Vikings, 38, 24, 20, 22, 20, 20, and then 18 in that last game. But even up until then, that's a ton of weeks in a row they've hit this number. Playing very well offensively. But this Eagles defense obviously is very, very, very good. So we'll see if they can kind of have their way. As a Giants fan, I'm very cautious with what I play, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants kept it close. Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, the only thing that concerns me is that December 11th matchup. Obviously, they blew out the Giants, but this is a completely different defense since then.
Yeah,
A lot more confident, and they've got some pieces back. They can't give up 253 yards on the ground. Just can't.
no,
So, couple players to watch out for. Boston Scott, all he does is score touchdowns versus the Giants. So that's something to look at if you want touchdown scoring. I know it's probably, well, at this point, it's probably not a secret anymore, and maybe the odds will show that, but all he does is score touchdowns versus them. And he's usually got some good odds, being that he doesn't get as many carries as some of the other guys. But that's some stuff to look at throughout. Are you taking a side, or are you just going to sit on the sidelines and hope for the best?
yeah, I'm gonna send this out and hope for the best. I mean, the only thing is that the Giants have one of the worst, defenses in the league, especially rush defenses. So I'm gonna have to sit this one out. But if the Giants can sort of stop them, and if Jalen Hurts isn't 100% or he's a little rusty, that's when it's gonna be a game. It just is up to whether their defense shows up or not. So
Yeah,
just gonna
I
watch.
completely agree. Speaking of defenses, let's go on to our next game in the NFC. We got the Cowboys versus the 49ers. Seeing a little bit of line somewhere between -3.5 and -4 for the 49ers. The over-under is currently set at 45.5, just like in that Bucks game. A lot of sour people there, rightfully so. What are your thoughts on this game with the Cowboys and the 49ers?
Yeah, well, we may have different takes on this game. I personally kind of like the Cowboys. As a Giants fan, being in New Jersey, Eagles fans to me are a lot worse people than Cowboys fans. Obviously, Cowboys fan across America probably win that battle, but to me, the Eagles winning Super Bowl means a lot more of a sad mat compared to the Cowboys winning. I still don't like the Cowboys, obviously, but I put a future out on that team. Obviously, the 49ers, I think, are the best overall team still left in the NFC, but I think this game is a low scoring game. I think I like the under in the game overall. And I think Brett Maher was setting himself up for his own 30 for 30. He might hit a game winning field goal to win this game. You never know. Clip that bad boy just in case. But yeah, I think it's gonna be low scoring, close. Obviously, my other pre-playoff article had the Bills to beat the Niners. So this is the game I'm really the most torn on because I think whoever wins this game goes to the Super Bowl. So I like both teams, and it should be a good one. I think it's a low scoring kind of grind out battle. What are your thoughts?
A couple things. Let me bounce off you real quick. Number one, you said what? That both the winner of this game is going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. You taking extra points for the Cowboys? 2.5.
extra. I mean, I would be dumb to do that, but
You're a kicker guy. I'm just asking. You bounce back.
I think it's the under though. So I'm not sure they score that many points. I think it's more of like a 21-17 kind of game, maybe 24-20.
Sorry. I've always been a fan of the Cowboys. I don't hate them whatsoever. No bias whatsoever. But I really like this 49ers team. They've won 11 straight. Um, everybody, look, Cowboys looked really good last week, but the Bucks versus the 49ers, two different animals. Number one, the 49ers are going to run the ball, not be one-dimensional like the Bucks. And they obviously have a bunch of weapons, especially with Mitchell coming back as well, to be able to run the ball and keep the pressure off that offensive line as far as when they're passing or being able to open up screens and play actions and everything to kind of confuse that defensive line throughout. The coverage for the Cowboys looked good as well. But again, when you don't have to worry about the run at all, that kind of helps out as far as focusing on the coverage, even for those DBs. On the other side of the ball, the 49ers have a wonderful defense, obviously. They have a pass rush. And you saw some weaknesses as far as early on in the game with the Bucks, but I mean, that offensive line for the Cowboys looked really good last week, and I think that was a combination of them being really good, number one, and the Bucks making them look really good. Not adjusting on defense, not getting to the quarterback, really. After those first couple drives, they just didn't have any pressure whatsoever, and Dak was able to just sit there and, comfortably pass the ball. I think the Cowboys ran into a Bucks team that's at one of their lowest, and they made them pay, and the Cowboys are a much better team, period. They're now facing a 49ers team that's at their highest, and I think that it's not going to go well overall. I want it to not go well overall? Of course, Matt, of course. I want the Cowboys to lose by 1,000. Realistically, I think 4 is a number that they can lose by. It's up to Brock Purdy to not turn over the ball, stay composed, and just manage the game and use the weapons he has throughout. I think on defense, they need to get to Dak and pressure him, and then shut down the run. But they have the linebackers, the secondary, and the defensive line to completely shut down this offense if needed. The Buccaneers made no changes on. It was awful last week. Awful. As far as a guy who used to play defense and loves defense, it's just, it was disgusting. They were just, especially Dalton Schultz. Oh my God. I was trying to find a line for his receptions this week. I might even look at a touchdown scoring prop because he was just getting all the looks. And I don't know if that's more of the Bucs defense or just Dak, using his tight end, which he does do throughout the season. He did do throughout the season. But the athleticism, well, I guess you can compare. I'd say they're comparable as far as athleticism between the Bucs linebackers and the 49ers linebackers. Very good groups throughout. But yeah, 49ers -3.5. Fuck them boys.
I just took a peek. Obviously, Dak's ability to stay composed and not turn the ball over. The Cowboys have proven when he does that, it happens very, very in small amounts. He's played 13 games, threw an interception in 10 of them. Yep. But the 3 games he didn't, 31-14, absolute blowout versus the Bucs last week. Yep. And then you go against the Vikings, they won 40-3, and then they also beat the Lions 24-6. So they blow teams out when he doesn't turn the ball over. If he can stay composed and if their offensive line can hold up, that's when I think they can do it. But if not, it's going to be very interesting. Again, I like the under. You have 2 teams, 2 of the top best DVOA defenses in the league going at it. I did this in the Bucs game. I personally live bet every Bucs drive punt in the first half. I'm probably going to do that for both teams in this game and just root for an under. You get plus money with these good offenses. But yeah, you can go Nick's way. I think it's a good game, a nice under. And I wouldn't sleep on the boys is my thing. But I mean, Nick's got other opinions. That's all I got to say about that game. I'm done with props. I wouldn't touch a prop too much really either because both defenses are really good. You never really know what kind of trick stuff they're going to pull out. But overall should be that's in my opinion, I guess not. The Bills Bengals is, but that's the best NFC game to watch on the board, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that props can be tricky, especially in the playoffs. I like reception props and stuff like that, and less on yardage. But yeah, that's my thoughts overall. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know who you think is going to be winning these games.